Y'all have also been begging for a beveled A, so let's do it. This one's actually pretty easy if we just follow the same steps from previous videos. So the first thing we're going to do is box up our A, and we want an A like this. We want just flat, decently sized sides that are even, and we want a flat top with a triangle in the middle. Then our next step is adding triangles on the ends. So these two bottom legs, these are the ends. Then our next step is connecting corners when the letter changes direction. So it comes up, bends to go left, so we connect these corners, and then it bends to go down, so we connect these corners as well, which then creates this triangle on top of the A. Then we start at one of our triangles and just go through the middle to connect it with the other triangle. So we go up through the middle on top, and then down through the middle to the next triangle. Then we have to connect the middle piece, the extra piece, with the main body of the letter. So we're going to use triangles to connect it with that middle line on both sides. Then we're going to add a middle line through that piece. Next, we're going to start with our lighter color and fill in everywhere where the light would be hitting. I'm using a top left light source. That's what I would suggest using. So we're going to fill in the top there, and then we're going to fill in this left side of this piece. It's on the left, so the light would be hitting it. And then we're going to fill in the top of this middle piece, which is on the top of this section, so the light would be hitting it. And then we're going to move to this far section, and we're going to fill in the left side of this where the light would be hitting. And that includes the left side on top of the middle piece and the left side on bottom. The light would be hitting that whole area there. And then we're just going to grab our darker color, and we're going to fill in everywhere where the light wouldn't be hitting. So just the opposite of everything that we just filled in should just be the rest of the letter. And then if we want to emphasize it further, we add highlights. I'm going to use a light green. I think that looks best when you're doing these beveled letters that are colored. Like if I was doing reds, I would use a light red, for example. Using white is just too bold. I feel like the only time when white looks good with these beveled letters is if it's a gray fill. And then we're just going to add our drop shadow as well. I think this looks best if you use black, and we're just adding it as a drop shadow anywhere where the darker color is. And then I know not everyone celebrates Thanksgiving, but regardless, I just wanted to say I'm thankful for all of you today.